Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Today, a serious topic. For the first half hour, we'll be talking to the sister of a man who was murdered more than 30 years ago. And the man who was convicted of that crime is now out on parole. It's out of the unbelievable file here on Connect with Me. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment. We're back here on the program live, and you're watching us on Comcast 187, 43.6, and now 13.1. And if you choose, you can watch the replay, of course, between 2 and 3 o'clock today on 13.6 U2, and then 8 o'clock tonight, 13.5 Biz TV. I should also mention that today's program is sponsored by Turf Medics. Hey, that man, what's his name that used to play running back for the Fresno State Bulldogs? Oh, yeah, he's, I believe, part owner. Anyway, he'll be doing the commercials, and we thank him because they are the brand new sponsor. By the way, Turf Medics, you can actually make your lawn look green throughout the entire year, even during the winter and the summer months when it's so dry and you can't water your lawn. You virtually just put this stuff on your lawn. It looks like the 16th green at the Masters when they paint that stuff over your lawn. It's really incredible stuff. Anyway, thanks to Turf Medics today, one of our sponsors. Also, I just want to mention a couple of things overnight that happened. Jim Bartko is now the brand new athletic director at Fresno State. He comes from the University of Oregon. Apparently, we understand he is a big-time fundraiser, and that's exactly what Fresno State needs. A man who can go out and raise and bring in the big bucks, my friends. Also, the City Council voting 7-0 last night to authorize the sending out of those mailers to you, the viewer and the voter, to see if you want your water rates to go up. If more than half of you say no, they'll scrap the entire plan, but in the next 5 years, expect your water rates to go up by more than triple. That's incredible. So last night's vote 7-0 by the City Council. Okay, out of the unbelievable file here on Connect with Me, this was a gruesome crime that rocked the entire Central Valley more than 30 years ago, and today we're still talking about the man who was released out on parole who committed this crime. I want to put up the picture, if you will. Here he is. His name is Theodore Lalo, and just last week he was released from prison after serving 16 years to life for killing 25-year-old Kenneth Carlock. Lalo was accused of stabbing Carlock 77 times, slashing his throat, then cutting his heart out and stuffing it in his pocket. Yet, instead of first-degree murder, he was charged with only second-degree homicide. Carlock and Lalo were co-workers at a local mail courier service. There's Carlock there. In this photo, he appeared to be always happy-go-lucky with a smile on his face, much like what you see here. But on the night of June the 5th, 1984, Carlock's body was found inside this apartment complex at Marks and Ashland, stabbed to death in the bathroom. The fact that his killer is now on the loose and living with his wife in San Luis Obispo has Carlock's family members completely outraged. In fact, I would say that much of our community is outraged the fact that this man is now out on parole. Live in our studio right now is Carlock's sister, Gayle McCracken, who says she wants answers as to why Lalo was let go. There is Gayle now. She's waiting to take your call. 436-ME-TV, option 11. A serious topic today. Gayle has been gracious enough and good enough to come in and talk to us about this very topic. She's been all over the news, and here is the front page of the Fresno Bee yesterday. Right on the front page, Pablo Lopez, the writer on this one. He's known Gayle for many years. Right there, the entire story. Today we're going to focus on this major topic today that has so many people on edge and really angry about what's happened. We're back with our program and your phone calls in just a moment.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was starting to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
I have to give Lorenzo Neal just a little bit of a hard time because he's a friend of ours here at Connect With Me, and our thanks to him for sponsoring our program today with Turf Medics. Glad to have him along as a major sponsor. All right, to our serious topic today, and I mentioned this Lalo case, and it really is heartbreaking to see that a man who committed such a heinous crime more than 30 years ago is now out on parole, living somewhere with his wife in San Luis Obispo, paroled last week. Gayle McCracken, the victim's sister, is here today. And Gayle, I really, really, really appreciate you coming on the program very much.
Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
Well,
I want it out there so bad. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't imagine what you're going through. I don't ever want to go through what you're going through. I don't think anybody does. But you basically have told me over and over again the times that I've talked to you on the telephone, and that is you want answers. Who do you want to explain to you what and why and how all this happened?
You know, I mean, I just got a phone call from the victim services in Sacramento telling me that he was going to be released. The first things out of my mouth when they said his name was, "Oh my God, please just tell me he's dead." And then they said, "I'm sorry, but he's due to be released immediately." That a Fresno County Superior Court judge had held court and said he was to get out right now.
Yeah, we do have a caller on the line. Caller, you there? Go ahead.
Yes, good morning. I was wondering, the judge that sentenced him, why didn't he give him first degree on it? And second of all, what was the relationship between these two people that he so viciously murdered him?
Okay, thank you for the call. That's 2 excellent points. So why a second-degree murder charge to begin with more than 30 years ago? And what was the relationship between your brother and Lalo?
Okay, they were co-workers. There was only 2 vans at that time, DHL Courier Service. His father ran it, and that's it.
Were they friends?
No, they just worked together.
Acquaintances?
Right. And
they didn't hang out together?
No, the only time they ever got together was when I talked my brother into moving to Fresno, and they would meet at his apartment and go over the routes to make it easier so they wouldn't be driving all over town, and that's where he killed him.
Yeah. Is there any reason why he did it?
Well, I believe, I mean, I've been through so much over this, and I believe that Ted had been angry because he wrecked the van that he was driving, and his dad was taking money out of his check while my brother...
Who wrecked the van?
Ted.
Lalo?
Lalo. He wrecked one. They only had 2 vans. He drove one, and my brother drove the other one.
Okay.
Okay, and then he found out that my brother was getting ready to get a promotion. And I mean,
he was jealous.
Yeah, big time jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother, and then my brother had got a letter from See's Candy where he worked for a long time. They loved him, and commendation letter, and he was angry and jealous.
So he had a little bit of envy. He envied your brother a little bit.
My brother.
But along with that comes envy, so it turns to hate, and you want revenge.
Right.
So is that what it turned into?
Right. Yeah, and there's so much that the people don't understand. I mean, they'd have to see and read the case.
Okay, now you brought some old newspaper clippings here, but why a second-degree murder charge for such an absolutely brutal and heinous crime?
I was there. The first thing that made me go down there was when my sister called me in the middle of the night and said that she wanted me to know that he had taken my brother's heart. She didn't want me to see it on the news. So I had to go outside and scream because I couldn't wake up my children. And then I heard that he had failed to recognize his lawyer. Well, I never saw his face until I saw it on TV.
Yeah.
And my brother pulled up to my house one time, and my cousin was in the van, and I was talking to him, and there was a noise in the back. And it startled me, and he said, I'm sorry, that's Ted. He said, Ted, this is my sister. Well, I couldn't see his face because they have that blockage thing to prevent the parcels from hitting the drivers. And I just said, how you doing? And then I went back talking to my brother. Well, I heard that he failed to recognize his lawyer, so he was going for an insanity plea. And I said, okay, well, I wonder if he'll recognize me. And I went down to the courthouse, and when he came in trying to act like Charlie Manson's little brother, he looked over and he saw me, and he put his head down and started biting his lip. I said, yeah.
Another call coming in. Gayle, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I've always been told that when it comes to parole board hearings, that family members are usually notified of such things. And my question is, weren't you notified? And why didn't you attend the parole hearing so you could give your viewpoint on whether he should or should not be paroled?
Go ahead.
I've been to so many parole hearings. I've even had Mike Reynolds go with me one time as support. I mean, you don't know how many I've been to. The last one that they held, my sister and I are the only survivors left that can go there. And we decided they were going to do what they wanted to do. It costs a lot of money to go. So I wrote a letter, reminded him what he did, and, let them know that this is a vicious animal. He's not rehabilitated. And it could be your heart next time, Yeah.
Let's explain what happened, because the governor denied any kind of parole, Governor Jerry Brown, right?
Right.
Okay. But there was another judge besides this one here that made this ruling last week who granted him parole, and then it went to an appeals court. Is that correct?
And that's the thing that happened. That's what I found out. They did not appeal it. They did it last time, but not this time.
Not this time, but I'm talking about the last time the appeals court stepped in and said, hey,
That was in, I think, the 2012.
2012, a couple of years ago that this happened. And so he remained in jail thanks to the appeals court. Then this judge comes along. His name is Arlen Harrell, and he is the one that granted Lalo his parole last week. And so we're going to get into that, because I did call the judge yesterday and got a quote from him as to why he did this, and does he have any regrets? I'll tell you my answer on the other side of the break. And this program today, Connect With Me, is brought to you by Turf Medics, Lorenzo Neal and Company, the former running back for the Fresno State Bulldogs. And of course, he played in the NFL and the Super Bowl, and all the rest is history. We're back with our program today in a moment.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. Me TV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
Me TV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program, and again, our program today sponsored by Turf Medics and Lorenzo Neal, and Gayle McCracken is here, and you wanted to get into the plea bargain situation.
Yeah.
What happened? Why was it second degree instead of first degree?
They wanted to get the actual cause of death, even though he stabbed him 77 times and collapsed both of his lungs and his back and cut his heart out. I mean, they wanted the actual cause of death, which they determined was him cutting his throat. So in order to get that, they threw my brother's heart out of the courtroom.
So that's why the second degree instead
Judge
of the
Gomes.
first, because the cause of death was the slashing of the throat.
Right. And that didn't make sense to me anyway.
Okay.
It should have been first degree, premeditated.
All right. I'm going to put my glasses on here because I got to read this quote, and it's from Arlen Harrell. He is the judge who made this ruling to release Lalo last week and put him on parole. He's somewhere in San Luis Obispo. So I got him on the phone yesterday, called the courthouse, and asked him if he had any regrets at all. He told me to read his letter and why he released him. Well, I did that. I read all 15 pages. I have some of those pages here now. But when asked if he had any regrets, and I'm quoting now, this is from Arlen Harrell, the judge, he said, "My job is to make a decision based on the information provided to me and based on the law." What's your reaction when you hear that?
Unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. If he had any idea of what happened and really, got into what happened, he would never let that animal, barbaric monster out. That's insanity. There was no insanity with Ted. He planned that whole thing. If he was so insane, how did he get in a van and drive to Madeira, break into a man's house, shower, change clothes, and steal a check? The man came home, caught him, and he dove through a window, and he chased him, and they caught him down by the river. They didn't know who he had.
Yeah. Do you think it was do you think this murder was pre-planned, premeditated?
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt in my mind. And Ted knows I know that. And that's one of the main reasons why I want to know where he is and how are they monitoring him.
Are you afraid for your safety?
I'm afraid for my children's safety. They never got to know their uncle. I have grandkids. I'm not he wants to come to me, because I'll do what I got to do to him.
Yeah, yeah. Another phone call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. What's your question? Caller, got to turn your TV set down. Go ahead.
Hello?
You have to turn your TV set down, please. Turn your television down, please. Hello, caller?
Hello?
Yes, caller.
Hello? I was wondering, at that time when that happened, wasn't he under the influence of PCP?
Yeah, in the beginning, he claimed it was an accident. How do you do something like that? He accidentally did all that to my brother. And then he changed his story that he was on methamphetamine, not PCP. Mm-hmm. And he had a psychotic breakdown.
Mm-hmm. I want to read from Judge Harrell's decision as part of what he wrote. Pages 6 and 7 of his decision says, now keep in mind, but preface this by saying that the governor denied parole, Governor Jerry Brown. And so Harrell writes, the court notes that the governor's decision has failed to establish a rational nexus between the evidence upon which the governor relied and the determination that the petitioner would pose a current threat to public safety if he were to be released. So apparently the governor believes even now that he is a threat, and apparently Judge Harrell doesn't believe so.
I don't understand this. I don't even know this guy. I would love to have a sit down with him, but I am so proud of Jerry Brown. This is not the first time he's denied him. And
How many times has he denied him in the past?
I think it's either 2 or 3.
Right.
And still he knows he's not ready to be out.
Is it shocking to you? It was to me that a judge can overrule the governor.
Yes, that's what one of my main things was. How in the world I thought the governor was the top dog of the state. How does a Fresno County judge, Superior Judge, overrule the governor?
I don't know, but he is, Judge Arlen Harrell is from the Fresno County Superior Court. He's a judge right here in our Central Valley. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, so I just wanted to let this lady know that I was working that night when they brought him into the county jail. Mm-hmm. And they had told us that they found the heart in his coat or his shirt pocket.
my suggestion is, well, it's not my suggestion, but if the crimes that these people do go against judges' families and they do this to their families, you can bet you that the law will be enforced to the fullest. But you know, the law is made for the rich and not the poor. So
let me ask you, sir.
If a victim is nothing or has no name or isn't popular or in politics or anything, basically they get away with it.
Yeah, caller, stay on the line there because I want to ask you a couple of questions here. What's your first name?
John.
Okay, John. What was your job working at the jail at the time?
I was the intake officer.
Okay, and what was Laylo's demeanor like when he was brought in?
He just was basically stiff, you know, like he had no reaction, no type of emotions or anything.
No signs of remorse or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, it's amazing you remember all those details, huh? Some 30 years later. That's pretty good. Pretty good memory on your part.
I retired in '85.
Okay. Okay.
So,
yeah.
You know, I think that was the worst thing that, basically, I mean, the deputy was sick, and I got sick when I found out what I just did, you know, search this guy. And so,
are you, John?
Know, I sympathize with the victim sister.
John, let me ask you one. Let me ask you one final question. Are you the officer who, jail officer who searched Laylo that night?
Yes.
And you're the one who found the heart?
Yes.
Okay. All right, sir. John, I'm going to let you go. We're kind of running short on time, but I appreciate the phone call. Thank you very, very much. And you know our condolences go out to you. And
thank you.
You know, we got to take a break here, Gayle. Gayle McCracken is our guest here on Connect with Me. Today's program sponsored by Turf Medics and Lorenzo Neal, a brand new sponsor here on the program on MeTV. Our thanks to that company and Lorenzo Neal. Back in just a moment.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. He's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there. Officer Poncherello, man. Frank Poncherello. Well, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
now
Chips.
on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Okay, we have a call coming out of the break here, and we're going to take it. Caller, you're on the air on Connect with Me. What is your question? Go ahead, caller. Caller, you there?
Is that me?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Caller?
Oh, yeah, I can hear now. I just want to express my condolences to her, how bad that was.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm sure you do too, Gayle.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I want to put up on the screen some a series of newspaper articles dating back to 1984/85. There's the first one right there. Of course, you see that Laylo was only 23 years old at the time of the stabbing death, of course. We'll go to the next one, and of course this one, June 8th of 1984. And what'd you think when this thing, I mean, not only the fact that you lost your brother in such a heinous crime, the man in many people's minds should never have been paroled. at the time when all this was making headlines, and even now, what goes through your mind? Big news event too.
You know what? People that have say, well, he did more than he was, given. No, this is never going to go away from me. It's like it just happened.
Yeah.
I relive it all the time. People that have never walked that path, and I hope to God they don't. It's something that never goes away. Never.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I just saw the ad that you put, not the ad, but the paper that it said that he withdrew the insanity plea. So I heard her say that he tried to claim insanity. Why did they let someone that was so insane like him out?
That's the question. That's why we're here today.
Yeah, because
If we knew the
Arlen,
answer to that.
whatever, that
Arlen
judge
Harold.
said he can go. And the thing is, they didn't even notify the district attorney's office. Nobody. They just held court and said, okay, let him go.
What kind of comments have you been getting from people around the city and elsewhere? How many calls? How many emails?
I don't have a computer. I wish I
Okay.
did. But my daughter has a phone, and she was telling me last night it's that article that Pablo wrote, and KMPH, but mainly the article Pablo wrote, has even reached the United Kingdom, and people are outraged. Just outraged and, joking and laughing at California because we got these liberals that go, oh, yeah, let this creature out, not realizing that he is not rehabilitated. He manipulated the system.
You do not believe a person like this can be rehabilitated.
I mean, come on, look at Manson. He didn't even kill anybody. And he's going to rot, and he's never getting out. But he's getting married,
Orchestrated, apparently.
Right, he did, but he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yet Ted got second-degree murder. How? I've never understood how Judge Gomes could do that. And then they hold this court beyond anybody's knowledge and let him go.
All right, another call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, what can we do to get rid of these judges? I mean, because this is appalling. This is completely outrageous.
Amen.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Do you?
No, because once they're on the bench, they're all buddies. They go fishing, camping, they hang out. It's pathetic.
We got just a couple of minutes left. Anything that you can do to maybe, I don't know what can be done from a legal point of view to try to get this guy back in jail?
I'm not done.
Is there anything that can be done from a legal standpoint
Well,
that you know of?
I don't know, but like I said, I wish I had a computer to get on and search, but I have a phone that keeps dying on me. I'm doing everything I can. I'm not done.
Yeah. Are you going to seek out an attorney?
Yes, I would love for an attorney to help me. If anybody knows of one, please refer them to me.
Okay.
I need
and do you want
help.
to give out your telephone number or no?
I don't care.
Okay. If you want someone to refer an attorney to you, they can contact you by calling what
That's
number?
right. If my phone will hold the charge.
Okay. Go ahead. What's the number?
It's area code 559-570-8016.
Again, that number?
559 570-8016.
Okay, 570-8016, and is that a cell phone number?
That's my landline.
That's your landline.
Yeah.
Okay, 570-8016 to get a hold of Gayle McCracken. Well, all of us here at Connect with Me and Ventura TV offer our condolences, and we're sorry for what happened, and we're sorry that this man was let out. And I did talk to Mike Reynolds yesterday, just briefly, and he said that the thing that he still can't believe after all these years was the fact that it was a second-degree murder charge instead of first degree.
Exactly.
He said that stuck with him all these years.
Mike, like I said, he supported me at one hearing. He was right there in it. He saw and heard everything.
Gayle,
thank you so much for
stay
having
well.
me.
Thank you very much. Under the circumstances, thank you for coming in.
God bless you.
Okay, God bless you too. Thank you. Gayle McCracken here on the program. Second half hour, stay tuned. We have Sheriff Margaret Mims coming up for the next 30 minutes on Connect with Me. Our thanks to Lorenzo Neal and Turf Medics for being the sponsor of this program today here on Me TV Fresno. We're back in just a moment.
Tough TV is the first digital broadcast network to offer first-run original programming targeted at men. Tough TV features content that men are passionate about. Sports.
No matter what happens in the fight, ooh, good right, left. Coming on strong.
Lifestyle.
What we've done is we've created a technology that allows us to run video games in extremely powerful servers in server centers.
Drama.
Did you cause this?
Reality.
Welcome to this edition of Eye for an Eye. Now, today in court, we have the case of the reckless brother who tried to unravel his own family ties.
Talk.
Bam, we have a winner!
Specials.
I'm Dick Butkus. Welcome to the Butkus Awards TV special.
And movies.
Everybody on your knees, put your hands on the table.
Sports, lifestyle, drama, reality, talk, specials, and movies. Are you tough enough?
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the Me TV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on Me TV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
All right, kind of a serious topic here today, and we want to thank, of course, Turf Medics and Lorenzo Neal for being the sponsor of this program today on Me TV Fresno. Second half of the program, we're going to continue talking about this case a little bit, but I do want to talk about Proposition 47, and I do want to put that up on the screen, so we're going to kind of change pace here just a little bit. We'll still talk about the Lalo case to a certain extent, but you know, on Election Day, Proposition 47 passed by the voters of California. This would reduce property and drug crimes from a felony to a misdemeanor. What? Say what? Okay, unless, of course, the defendant has prior convictions such as murder, rape, sex offenses, or gun crime. So, in our studio now is Sheriff Margaret Mims to talk about this. And Sheriff, I gotta say, couple of shocking things here today on the show. First of all, this Lalo case, and then this Proposition 47. Listen, I don't mean to demean our voting population or our voters out there, but what happened here?
Unfortunately, the title and summary on Prop 47 was completely misleading. It was titled the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act. That was very, very misleading because it's not going to keep our neighborhoods or our schools safer. It actually makes possession of a date rape drug a misdemeanor. So somebody with the intention of going out and preying on somebody for a sexual assault is now guilty of a misdemeanor for carrying these drugs.
Well, let's put that up on the screen one more time. I want to read that because I can't get enough of this because it's so shocking. It said, this would reduce property and drug crimes from a felony to a misdemeanor. Okay, so let's keep that up there first, and let's go over this item by item here. Property and drug. Okay, property meaning if somebody breaks into my house, Sheriff Mims, ransacks the place, busts everything up, maybe injures a family member, so you mean to tell me that's a misdemeanor?
Well, a burglary, a residential burglary, is still a type 1 burglary. It's still a felony. However, if somebody comes in here, for instance, to Ventura TV, with the intention of stealing something while you're open and carry something out, as long as that property value is less than $950, it's a misdemeanor.
So they could carry out a flat screen TV worth $550 and it would be a misdemeanor?
That's correct.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Possession of stolen
It's
property.
unreal.
Yeah, possession of stolen property has always been a felony. It is now a misdemeanor.
All right, drug crimes. So if a person is using methamphetamine, we know methamphetamine is a huge problem here in the Central Valley. So now that's going to be a misdemeanor too?
That's a misdemeanor, and unfortunately what happens when somebody is addicted to methamphetamine, that means they're committing some kind of theft. Many times when we arrest somebody for possession of methamphetamine, we're preventing theft crimes from occurring, because remember, for a $100 a day habit, you've got to steal about $1,000 a day, because you only get 10 cents on a dollar when you sell stolen property.
Besides Proposition 47 being misleading, what else happened here in your mind? Is it, can we just pass this off as saying, oh, you know, it's just California again?
Well, this was underwritten and funded by George Soros. They raised about $4.2 million to pass this proposition.
But why? What purpose does it serve?
There's been a long-term effort to legalize drugs, and this is the camel's nose under the tent.
You're talking about marijuana.
Well, any kind of drug.
Any kind of drug. Methamphetamine?
Absolutely. This is
heroin
been going on for years and years and years, and they're incrementally decriminalizing drug possession and drug use. And the problem is, look what it could do to our society. What kind of society do we really want to have here in our state?
So this is their way of legalizing drugs?
Absolutely.
Proposition
I'm convinced
47.
of that.
Okay. And is there anything that can be done about it? I mean, can you know, from a legal standpoint, can this be challenged, do you think?
Unfortunately, because it's an initiative, it would take a 2/3 vote and the legislature to overturn Prop 47.
That's not going to happen.
And it would just a tough row to hoe. It is just a very, very tough. I think it just flew under the radar of so many people. We were able to raise just over $200,000 to try and defeat it. In Fresno County, by the way, good for you voters in Fresno County, you did not pass Prop 47. It did not pass in Fresno County. We were able to get our message out.
Yeah.
But statewide, it's hard.
Yeah, because San Francisco and Los Angeles, that's why. But Fresno County, being a little more conservative, did not pass here. So you as being sheriff, are your hands tied? What can you do? I know you're a little miffed and probably outraged, but what can you do as sheriff?
I have to apply and abide by the law. Everybody that is in our jail, we hold them under specific statutes that allow me to keep somebody in custody. Now, remember that misdemeanors are still a crime. So, we will hold people as long as we have room for crimes. However, the courts are already going through. Last Friday, a week ago today, they had a 1 full day session of changing people's charges and sentences in the Fresno County Jail from felonies down to misdemeanors per the law, because it was
They've
effective.
already made the change?
It was effective immediately. It was effective at midnight Wednesday after the election. And, John, it's retroactive.
How many people are we talking about?
There were 700 people in the Fresno County Jail who were in custody with Prop 47 charges, who all or some of their charges they were in custody for are now reduced to misdemeanors.
Amazing. All right, a call coming in here on the show. Caller, go ahead. You're on with Margaret Mims, the sheriff. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Caller?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to know why you did not have this discussion before that proposition passed.
Well, we did here, but
we issued press releases, press announcements. We had a press conference. I helped author an op-ed that came out in the newspaper.
Yep.
To hit TV, however, you need the funding to do that. And we were just frankly outspent. $4.2 million versus about $275,000. So that's where we just couldn't get the message out with paid media. We tried everything we could with all of the free media that we could get.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. So 700 inmates, Fresno County Jail, had their status changed from felony to misdemeanor, right?
That's
Wow.
correct. And it's retroactive, which means anybody with a prior conviction of a Prop 47 charge that was a felony now can petition the court to have that reduced down to a misdemeanor.
So how many of those 700 are out right now? Do you know? We don't know that, right?
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Okay. Sheriff Margaret Mims is here. She's good enough to come along here on the program. Another call coming in. We'll take that call and then go to break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with the sheriff. Go ahead.
Yes. I heard that it was for all those drugs. I don't understand why they didn't just say it was for like marijuana, which is a simple drug compared to daybreak drug or heroin, or strong drugs that alter the mind so much that people go out and commit these crimes. And the way they write up these propositions that you vote on, I've been saying for years, they make it so confusing for people to understand what they're trying, and it seems like it just goes back and forth, and I've read them over and over and over, and I'm totally like confused what they're trying to say. And sometimes I don't even vote for any of them because I think if I vote one way, it's going to be bad, or it's not going to even serve a good purpose. So, you know, you're right about the way they write this. It was kind of like up in the air.
Well, and it is confusing. You know, our Attorney General writes the title and summary for these propositions. And it was a travesty that it came out and was titled Safe Communities or Safe Neighborhoods and Schools. That was just
exactly the opposite.
It's just exactly the opposite. And I've become introspective. Since I've been sheriff, look what's happened in the past 8 years, setting aside the economic declines that we had, but realignment. Tweaking 3 strikes and you're out. Now we have Prop 47. It seems like the pendulum is swinging the wrong way.
Yeah, another call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask the sheriff a real quick question. I think the problem that we have, and I think the law enforcement have, as far as dealing with the Prop 47, is where the doctors are at. They prescribe so many painkillers and hydrocodones and all that, and it trickles down. In other words, they can get so many, and you know those some of the doctors don't even care. You know, they prescribe a lot of the painkillers, and they go out and sell them and make a profit out of it. You know, it's just like legalizing marijuana. You know, because everybody gets a hand of it. You know.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I'd like to just put a question to her. It says it starts from the top where the doctors are at. That's really where it starts at. You can go to any doctor, and there's a lot of legit doctors, real good doctors.
Okay.
But there's a lot of that. All you got to tell them is, yeah, I need this for for arthritis and this and that, and they'll give you hydrocodone or any type of a drug that can help you. Okay.
Gotcha.
And they'll turn around.
Okay, we kind of get the gist of the call. I appreciate that very much, caller, and I guess that is part of the problem is prescription drugs.
It could be, but remember, this applies, Prop 47 applies to heroin, methamphetamine, date rape drugs such as Rohypnol. So, you know, marijuana,
cocaine.
Cocaine. Prior to Prop 47, possession of a less than an ounce of marijuana is already an infraction. You can't get arrested for that. You'll get a citation.
Yeah.
So the marijuana issue is really separate. Now we've really stepped it up a little bit, and we're talking about cocaine, methamphetamine, and heroin.
Another call. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I was calling to talk to Margaret Mims.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on. Go.
I'm on. Go. Okay. I just want to know how her add-on went on. I did construction on her house.
It's great. We love the remodel. Thank you so much.
Doing a little construction work, are you?
Yeah, we finished it. It took a few months.
Over at the office there?
No, at my home.
Oh, at your home. Oh, I thought he said the. Oh, at your home.
My home.
Oh, how's that going?
It's great. Thank you for all your hard work.
Wow. Hey, that was a good call. Hey, they're all good calls, right? They're all good. We appreciate you calling in. 436 MeTV option 11. See, look at how popular you are. I mean, it's amazing. Another call here. Good morning. You're on with the Sheriff, Margaret Mims. Go ahead.
Hi. Normally, I would not have voted because it confused me, but they made it sound so good that I voted yes, and I'm ashamed.
Wow.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Well, you know, we tried really hard, and unfortunately, when it comes to campaigning, when it comes to issues like this, it's really about the money, and we were outspent so much. We had every chief and the sheriff of Fresno County write an op-ed in our newspaper saying, "Don't vote for this."
Yeah.
And it just, for some reason, we got traction in Fresno County, but we can't pull it off in the Bay Area in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead. On the air.
Yes, I was wondering, she gave the example of like if somebody came into Ventura TV and stole something that was less than $900 and something, whatever it is. What if that person, does it 4 or 5 times? Does that push it up into a felony? Or is it the same all misdemeanors?
Great
question. And then the next other quick question is, people look at the jail or other places, let's see down in Los Angeles, this person comes in and only serves 3 days of a 6-month sentence, so, there's a disconnect there. And I thank you for allowing for a good show today.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Hey, what about the repeat offender if he comes in here like 6 times and pulls off the same job?
The only repeat offense that Prop 47 addresses is forgery. So forgery is now a misdemeanor. So somebody can steal your identity, take your checkbook, and forge your name. As long as it's less than $950, it's a misdemeanor. And it'll continue to be a misdemeanor until the 4th offense. Okay. The first 3 are misdemeanors. The 4th time, it's a felony. Other than that, the others will continue to be misdemeanors.
So a guy could come in here 100 times and pull off the same job, and it's a misdemeanor?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
All right, we're going to be back with the sheriff here, Margaret Mims. We're glad she took the time today, a busy schedule. 436 MeTV option 11. Got to take a commercial break. Thanks to Turf Medics and Lorenzo Neal for being our sponsor today. We're back in a moment.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
We're back here on the program talking about Prop 47. I wanted to touch on some other topics, but it looks like, okay, caller, are you there? Nope. Okay, call back, 436 MeTV option 11. Hey, I want to touch on just a little bit. I know we didn't plan this, but maybe you got a reaction to what happened last night with the president outlining his immigration reform by executive order. Illegal immigrants who've been here more than 5 years, which adds up to what, about 5 million, have now been given legal status if they register with the government, they pay their back taxes, they complete a background check, and if their children are here legally, they're good for 3 years. So what's your reaction to that, and how do you enforce the law now as it stands? Or it's not law yet, but it will be in a few days.
Immigration enforcement is completely up to the federal government. The problem is, and I'll tell you, I didn't advertise this, but I was in Washington, D.C. I just got back last night.
Okay.
Tuesday, about 15 of us nationwide law enforcement leaders had a meeting with Secretary Jay Johnson of Homeland Security. And here were our top 3 priorities.
Okay.
Border security first. Don't leave local law enforcement officials in the middle, because what happens was when the federal government gets wishy-washy on things, then we're left holding the bag.
Okay.
And third is they've got to fund it. Whatever it is that they do, it has to be funded. We did not get any details. We knew it was going to happen, did not get any details on what was going to happen. But I don't see this action as being, it's definitely not permanent, and Congress needs to take action themselves.
Caller, you're on the air with Sheriff Margaret Mims. Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to applaud her for her fight against all that is wrong in our society.
I would
and
too.
I'm saying that, you know, about what you asked her, what she can do about Proposition 47. All she can really do is continue to voice her perspective on it, and continue it, because then people will hear and maybe they'll listen. You're talking to a lot of deaf ears out there, and that's the way society is nowadays.
Okay.
You can see it when you're out there.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great call.
Well, that is, and I really thank you for that. I think it's pretty well known. I'm not shy. I'm going to voice my opinion, and I tried to be as vocal as I possibly could on Prop 47, and we'll keep fighting the good fight. And unfortunately, what happens is my first goal, and no matter what we do, is to try and keep citizens in Fresno County safe.
Yeah.
And this doesn't help.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to ask you, now you as sheriff, you have to follow what the president's executive order is on immigration, right? You got to follow it, right?
Well, it doesn't order local law enforcement to do anything, and here's where the wishy-washy part starts. So ICE comes in and says, we want you to hold this person. It's only a request. You don't have to if you don't want to. And so here we are left holding the bag, saying it either is or it isn't. It's either a warrant, an order, or something. But when you leave
it's got to be black and white.
It's got to be black and white. You can't leave us trying to guess about who's going to show up in court, because if we get sued in Fresno County, the federal government's not going to be standing there next to us.
They don't care.
No.
I mean, look, I got to get your reaction, is because I applaud this man. I used to live in Sacramento. That's my hometown. Sacramento County Sheriff Scott Jones criticized the president. Says he will continue to go after illegals. This after a shooting rampage last month, you recall that, Sheriff Mims, by a Mexican man with a long criminal history, was in this country illegally, shot and killed 2 deputies. So can you blame Scott Jones, the sheriff up there? Can you put any blame on him?
Absolutely not. In fact, when we did meet with Secretary Johnson, he went on and on about how secure the borders was. And the problem is that cannot be correct. When somebody can come, and this was 2.5 weeks ago, murder a Placer County deputy sheriff and a Sacramento County sheriff. He's been deported 4 times. Our borders are not secure, and we need to take care of that.
Yeah, that was number 1 that you mentioned just a moment ago. All right, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I just like to say to the sheriff there, if the federal government's going to be so wishy-washy and they say we'd like you to do something, then just tell them no. You know, show some spine and tell them no. You know, we can't. We'd like to, but unfortunately, you know, we got our own criminals here, and if you're going to be wishy-washy about it, then sorry, man. You know, maybe you can try the next county or something.
Yeah.
And let me tell you the problem with that. The people they're asking us to hold have committed crimes in our local area. So somebody comes in to Fresno County, the jail, they get booked, they do their sentence, and ICE says, we want you to hold them for 2 extra days beyond their sentence so we can come and get them. And I have to say, you better come and get them when they're ready to be released, because I don't have the legal authority to hold anybody because of due process. In our Constitution, it says due process. So ICE has to come and get them immediately, but there are local criminals.
Switch topics real quick. I was reading some reports online, and I don't know if this is true, because you never know what you believe when you read online. Anyway, the FBI put out a warning to every law enforcement agency about what may or may not happen with this grand jury report with Ferguson. Is that true? Did you guys receive one?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, we received information actually from the FBI and our local U.S. Attorney's Office about, you know, the potential of the protest. And peaceful protest is absolutely not a problem. It's a protected right in our First Amendment to as long as there's peaceful protest. My concern is we're going to have some knuckleheads out there who, no matter what the decision is, they're going to act out.
If you want to warn them right now, you can.
Don't do it. We are ready for violent behavior, and if you act out in a violent manner, we're going to be able to take care of business. Peaceful protesters, absolutely, that's not a problem.
You're prepared.
We're prepared, and not only that. I just think there are people out there that they don't care what the grand jury says. They just want to look for a reason to misbehave. And if you're one of those people out there, we're ready to take care of business.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, the grand jury report is scheduled to be released sometime this weekend in regards to the shooting of Michael Brown. He was a black teenager in Ferguson, Missouri, shot by a white officer. His name is Darren Wilson. So we'll see what happens there. Hey, I want to take a quick break, and we'll come back and do our final segment. Today's program sponsored by Turf Medics, Lorenzo Neal and Company, and our thanks to him. We're back with Sheriff Margaret Mims in just a moment.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Final remaining moments with Sheriff Margaret Mims. I do want to ask you about Gayle McCracken was here for the first half hour talking about her brother, who was murdered more than 30 years ago. And of course, Lalo, this guy Lalo, Theodore Lalo, released on parole last week. What goes through your mind when you see something like this as a law enforcement officer?
The first thing I thought about, I remembered when this happened. I was very new in my law enforcement career. My first peace officer job was in 1980. And I remember specifically this case. And it was like reading something in a Stephen King novel.
Yeah.
You know, this was a horror.
Question is, how could they let this guy out? How could it be second-degree murder and not first?
You know, I heard her talk about, judges and what she can do. Judges run for office every 6 years. You know, we just had a pretty controversial judges race.
Gamoyan and Hill.
Gamoyan and Hill. And $1 million they raised for this particular race.
Wow.
But I just think people need to take a more active role in trying to decide who our judges are going to be.
Caller, you have just a couple of seconds here. Quickly, what's your question?
Yes, you mentioned that ICE would come and pick him up like 2 days. They said to hold him. Why don't you just make an appointment to let him out? Not let him out, but tell him, okay, come and pick him up 2 days before they get out. That's simple enough. Just
that is in fact what we do today. When we know somebody is sentenced and they are getting ready to get out, we call ICE and we give them the date that they're going to be released, and then they show up. If they really want this person, they will show up. What complicates this are the pre-sentence people. And remember, in our jail, about 70% of the people there are pre-sentenced. So let's say we get somebody that ICE wants us to hold, but then they want to bail out. And we get into due process again. They need to bail out, and then we make the phone call to ICE, and they do this 24/7. ICE does not work 24/7 the way the jail is open 24/7. So it does get complicated. I will tell you this: our local ICE officers want to do the right thing. They work very, very hard. They work very well with us on several fronts. Our internet crimes against children, with gangs, with human trafficking, with narcotics enforcement, but they take their orders from Washington, D.C. They truly want to do the right thing.
All right. Today's program, unfortunately, seems like the focus was on the fact that the victims in this case, all over the state of California, including here, are kind of getting the shaft, and I don't know why. It's very baffling. Sheriff Margaret Mims, it's always good to see you. You look great. You look healthy. Stay healthy.
I feel good.
Okay, Sheriff, thank you so much, and come back again.
Thank you, John.
All right. Thanks to Sheriff Margaret Mims and Lorenzo Neal and Turf Medics for being our sponsor today. On Monday, it's Devin Nunes, the congressman. He'll be in here, along with Bradley Hart. Back on Monday. Have a great week.